Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. I want to apologize if you hear any surround sound or background noise. I am behind the wheel right now on the way to my business this morning. But I wanted to talk about not so much Bell Collective, the show. For those of you who've been on my channel, you know that I don't do reality show reviews. And this is one show that I have been watching, but I don't talk a whole lot about. But I have some thoughts, and I would like to know what you guys think about it, because Latrice, it's hard to like her. And I want to preface this by saying this. When it comes to Latrice, right? She clearly has a successful business. She is a successful businesswoman, and hats off to her for what she has been able to accomplish. But I wanted to preface it because I feel like sometimes when you give commentary or critique about someone who is deemed as being successful, then people who may like that person a whole lot or stand for that person, fan for them, whatever, they may come back with, "Oh, you're just jealous." And it's just a lazy, unintellectual read for people to go there when it comes to people saying you're jealous of someone because you're giving critique and commentary about some things that you see about people who are now public figures and have chosen to be on a platform such as a television show to get more eyes on them so that they can gain more success. Okay. So, after saying that, I want to say this. It's hard for me to like her, and I've tried to do so over the past several seasons of watching this show. She clearly is, a beautiful young lady, and she feels a certain way about herself, and good for her. That's fine. But the arrogance of, well, I'm rich, I got a lot of money, it gives off this feel of you may not be used to having money like that. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that, because the majority of people in the United States, just speaking about this country, were not born into money. They weren't born into wealth and riches. So that's definitely not uncommon. But I've often heard that when people start getting money, it doesn't change them. It just brings out the character and who they really are. And I feel that, you can be as broke as a joke and be extremely arrogant. And that is an extremely unattractive character flaw. So getting off of, I don't want to say getting off of her, because this is what I'm talking about, Latrice Rogers, but getting off of how she comes across in her mannerisms when it comes to the money and, and how she carries herself and feels about herself. She just has a nasty spirit. I've seen how she's operated on the show, and I know a lot of people do not like Marie, and that's fine. I don't care for how she, operates as well, but I do try to, when I know a lot of the story, I do try to take that into account, but I don't use that as an excuse. And clearly she is a hurt individual because she has not really had her mom. And for a woman to not really have their mother, that is a hard thing. Because think about it. Not giving excuses, but explanations. I believe that's why a vast majority of African American males have so many issues, because a lot of them did not have their fathers in their lives. And if their dad was in their life, he was a piece of crap too. So her mom being a strung out drug addict that she is still trying to get help for, and she's in the industry of helping people and she can't even help her own mom, that's got to be a hard thing. But to see how Latrice tried to defame her in that first season by saying things about her business and accusations about her business committing government fraud and things like that, I can understand her having a chip on her shoulder with regards to that. So I just wanted to say, no, it may not be an excuse, but it may be an explanation as to why she comes across as harsh as she does. And I'm just speaking about Marie and Latrice in terms of how they interact with each other. I don't have any excuses for her and Tambra, okay? But anyway, when I watched the reunion last night, actually I watched it earlier this morning, and Carlos was asking her questions about her relationship and in terms of, could there possibly be some abuse going on from her husband? I see a troubled woman, and I say that because when she was deflecting and putting out these accusations about half of these women up on the stage have been in abusive relationships, what? Who are you talking about? And I even saw Aikisha say, like, what girl, what are you saying? And her saying, well, if he put his hand on me, I'm going to put my hand on him too. That does not mean you're not in an abusive relationship. And to see them do the playback of when he came and confronted her at the M bar and was calling her the B word out in the parking lot, treating her, I wouldn't even say treating her like a child, because it's not even okay for a parent to treat their child that way. Well, it depends. but you get my drift. I'm just saying the way he was treating her, it was very uncomfortable to watch and see that. And when people ask Latrice questions, she does the deflecting and she tries to talk about the other women on the stage, and then she tries to talk about how successful she is and the money. And it's like, girl, you could be living the best life material-wise, but emotionally and physically, you could be a freaking wreck. You know, there are people that are in relationships with someone that absolutely loves and adores them, and they don't have it all together when it comes to the money department. But what makes them rich is the fact that they are there for each other no matter what, and they're not putting their hands on each other. You know, I think most people, if they had a choice, not saying anyone wants to be broke or poor, but they would much rather feel safe and secure than being in a relationship with someone that is emotionally and verbally and definitely physically abusive, but you're living in this grand, amazing home and you can buy anything that you want. Like, if you can buy anything that you want, then get up out of that relationship and move on. But my personal opinion, this is just my personal opinion, because I know a lot of people say, well, she started her business before she got with him and he didn't help her with that. I don't believe that. All of it. I'm not saying she didn't start her business and he was just the one that gave her everything that she got in order for her to attain the success that she has. But clearly, he was a man of means. She didn't just get with an older man just because he's older. She got with an older man who has resources and was able to support her and able to help her to grow. So if people believe that everything that she's done in business, she just did it all on her own and he was just there as her husband and that's it, that I don't believe that. Because we go back to the scene where they were having dinner and she told him how she had just signed on with a company to help her get her products into retail distribution. He went off about her signing contracts without discussing it with him. I don't believe that was just because I want to make sure I'm going to be able to make sure they're not taking advantage of you. I want to read through the fine print of the contract or whatever. No, I believe that it has a lot to do with the money. And I believe that he is in a lot of ways very controlling, but he tries to give her some grace because she is a public, she is in the public. She is a public personality, a reality TV personality now, even, so he doesn't want to make her look completely bad, and he also doesn't want to make himself look completely bad. So that's why he says things like, when she says, we need to talk about boundaries, and he's like, no, I'm running the show, I'm the head of this house. But it's, for me, uncomfortable to see Latrice sit there and try to throw the other women on the stage and who are on this ensemble cast under the bus, saying half of these women up here on this stage are in abusive relationships. Girl, what? That is absolutely ridiculous. First, let's just stop it there, because you don't know that. And two, you were being asked the question about yourself and your husband, not about anyone else's relationship. And that deflection, that is a clear indicator that some definite things are going on. Now, to just sit there and watch that, and then at the end, close to the end of the episode, when her assistant was up there, I felt bad for him, because I really do believe that he knows a whole lot more than what he is sharing. And that's fine, because that's his friend as well as his employer. So I'm not expecting him to come up there and put her on blast, or, to share personal information with, everyone else, so that he can get some camera time and maybe get some more followers on social media. But I don't think that he was crying because Cliff hurt his feelings. I believe he was crying because of him sitting there seeing this woman who he calls a friend, that's also his employer, being in this mode of trying to protect her image and cover herself to make herself, not look like she's weak. And Latrice definitely is one of those people that it is all about the image. It's all about the image with her. So the hair has to be laid, the baby hairs and the edges and all that. The face has got to be beat to perfection. The clothing just has to be right. And so, with all of those things, yeah, the marriage has to look great too. And the marriage definitely is not looking great. I don't care how much she wants to say that everybody up on this stage, they have issues, and half of these women have been in abusive relationships. That is a huge accusation for her to put out there that I don't believe has any proof of. Half of the women. So who are the women that you're speaking about? And I really wish that all of them spoke up and said something when she said that, because I felt like that was a moment where all of them should have said, well, girl, who are you talking about? Who are you referencing? And she couldn't do that. It was uncomfortable to watch, just as it has been very uncomfortable to watch her and her husband as a couple on this show. I don't know, guys. I'm just not here for it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.